Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight, the series finale of SmackDown Live for the very last time came to us from the USA Network, and it was just another in the long line of times that we could reference this show as Suckdown Live, and it'll be the last time we can call it Suckdown Live as well, and we are going to explain to you all the reasons why that is as we go down everything wrong with tonight's final episode of SD Live right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show SmackDown Live finale review. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Right off the bat, first thing wrong with this show. Not that I'm really disappointed that we didn't get it, because it was probably going to be a whole heaping pile of garbage anyway, but SmackDown Live promised us and advertised that we were going to have Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan clear the air tonight. They were going to clear the air. They were going to hash it out between each other and talk about all of the stupid shenanigans that have gone on for Roman Reigns being attacked in the backstage and having the scaffolding thrown on him and almost hit by a car, and Daniel Bryan claiming to have no involvement, and up until this point has continued to claim that to be the case. And we have none of that. We have none of that, because Erick Rowan was walking around the back, and he took a look at tonight's card, and he saw at the top Rowan and Daniel Bryan. Although it was probably really spelled Roman, but he thought he saw his own name because of the similarities between the two. We talked about it a million times. Or this was a case of a typo, and the people in the graphics department were supposed to hype it to be Rowan, and they went, oh no, it can't be Rowan because that wouldn't make any sense. Who gives a shit about seeing Erick Rowan? They had to have meant Roman Reigns. Let's just make it say Roman instead, and then they went with it, and they advertised it, and then we have this show start off with Erick Rowan coming out, boring the shit out of everybody, because regardless what he's done to Roman Reigns, regardless how he's attacked Daniel Bryan, nobody gives a damn about what Erick Rowan has to say. He's generating a decent amount of heat from the crowd, but really, what is he saying? He's repeating himself over and over, oh, we get no respect, and all this shit. Nobody really cares about the message he's trying to send. And at the end of the day, the biggest problem with this whole thing is I don't understand what they're doing with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was the hottest heel in all of the WWE's main roster. He was so good at it. The planet's champion. And that whole gimmick that he was putting together, it was fantastic. It was great. It was genuine. It felt real, because it was coming from a very real place. And now tonight, in a matter of seconds, Daniel Bryan comes out, gets a huge pop because he is being opposed Erick Rowan, who's now being a bastard man and is just destroying everything in his sight. So nobody's going to cheer for Erick Rowan. They're not going to cheer for him even if he was trying to be cheered, because he's not worth it on his own. And so they're cheering Daniel Bryan because that's what we're accustomed to doing. And then they have this whole back and forth take place between each other that boils down into a matchup. An impromptu matchup between Erick Rowan and Daniel Bryan takes place, and it went on for seemingly ever. This was about a 20-minute long matchup, and I am not complaining about the length of the match. What I am going to complain about is the fact that Daniel Bryan is so goddamn good at what he does, he made Erick Rowan look pretty good in this matchup. That's my complaint. He actually made me think that Erick Rowan is really, really good. But I really can just attribute it to just how good Daniel Bryan is. He made the guy look like $1,000,000. And what did he get in return? He get a botched spot. You get a botched spot by this big monkey. You can't tell me that that was planned. You can't plan these type of things when Daniel Bryan was picked up for the Iron Claw from the outside of the ring and then deposited on the inside of the ring and had his his foot entangled in his finger. Can you imagine if his finger got tangled in the two ropes? I don't even think that's humanly possible. He had his foot got all caught up between the top and middle rope, and he was stuck there for quite some time. They were struggling to try to get him out. Erick Rowan even tried to get him out for a second. He forgot what he was supposed to be doing. He forgot that he was the bad guy in the scenario, and he's like, oh shit, let me get Daniel Bryan out of these ropes. And then he realized, oh wait a minute, I'm the bad guy, and he starts stomping on Daniel Bryan. The referee's trying to get him free, and then Daniel Bryan had to get free of his own power. That was a messed up spot. You could almost feel the fact that Erick Rowan was going to win this match due to the interference of Luke Harper as soon as he stuck his beard into everything that was going on. And that's exactly what happened. Erick Rowan gets a win over Daniel Bryan here. There's a post-match beatdown that goes on that calls for Roman Reigns to come clear the air, I guess. He came out, he was late for work, or he didn't get the memo that he was supposed to open the show, or whatever reason why we got Erick Rowan instead. And now Roman's like, oh shit, this was supposed to be my segment. Let me go out there. Let me clear the air. Let me clear the air to everybody and let everybody know just how much this whole entire segment sucks. And that, let me clear the air and tell everybody exactly where we're going with this, which is only going to end one of two ways, and I'm not sure if I'm actually too thrilled about either one of them. So let's talk about that for a minute. Roman Reigns comes out, he tries to save the day. He saved the day, Betty. Came out, he saved the day. Tried to save the day. And Daniel Bryan pushes Roman Reigns away. Daniel Bryan finally gets back to his feet after getting beat down by Erick Rowan and Luke Harper. He's saved by Roman Reigns. He gets up, he pushes Roman Reigns away. Pushes him away. Get away from me. And then he proceeds to go, who wants to see Roman Reigns and I team up together and fight these two goons at Hell in a Cell? And the whole crowd, just like a bunch of hypnotized jackasses, yes, 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 yes. Not one person in the arena was confused. They all got immediately glossed over. They all immediately thought we were back in 2016. The yes chants broke out because Daniel Bryan asked them to without actually asking for it, which is a masterstroke by this man. That's how good he is. He has the audience so wrapped up in who he is that he didn't even have to tell them what to say. Fantastic for him. But at the end of the day, where are we going with Daniel Bryan? Are we supposed to be cheering him? Are we supposed to be booing him? Is he going to be like a middle guy? Or is this going to turn into a trap for Roman Reigns? And we are going to find out, possibly at Hell in a Cell, that Daniel Bryan was the mastermind behind this the whole time. Much like we've seen Vince McMahon be unveiled as the mastermind and the higher power. And I think that'll be a little bit kind of shitty. Not that I want to see Daniel Bryan stay on the good side of the ball and start teaming up with Roman Reigns and doing the whole babyface thing again. But I think if you're going to do this thing with Harper and Rowan, you got to do this thing with them. And their whole thing is that they're not going to be controlled by anybody anymore. And to put them in a faction with Daniel Bryan actually pulling the strings the whole time, and everything that they said was orchestrated by him, everything that happened in the match tonight was a plan by Daniel Bryan, I think that's going to come off a little bit less shocking and less impactful as they might intend. But that seems to be my gut instinct, that somehow this tag team matchup that is the result of all of this bullshit is going to end up with Daniel Bryan and Harper and Rowan put together by the end of the night, all in an effort to destroy Roman Reigns once and for all. And while I might be behind the message, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it until we see it happen. Other than that, we're going down a path of Daniel Bryan being a good guy and standing alongside Roman Reigns to put over Harper and Rowan. And I don't know if I'm all about that either. We had an interview with Kofi Kingston. Michael Cole sat down backstage with Kofi Kingston. This was a great interview, man. This is maybe my favorite interview that I've ever seen Kofi Kingston have. He seemed very cool, very relaxed. This guy's going up against Brock Lesnar. And he's cool, man. He's shooting the breeze with Michael Cole. He feels like he's in the best shape of his life. He's in the midst of the best run in his career. He beaten guys like Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and the list goes on and on. He has countless title defenses. He feels like he's been the best he's ever been. And you can't prepare for a guy like the Beast Brock Lesnar. But he's going to go in there, do what he always does, and he's confident. That's evident in what he had to say. He is not ready to give up that title, and he is going to walk out of the Fox premiere, or so he says, remaining our world heavyweight champion. I don't believe that, not for 1 minute. I think the reign of Kofi Kingston is coming to an end at the hands of the Beast Incarnate, and it's coming at us in just a little over a week as SmackDown moves to Friday, and the championship is going to be moving to Brock Lesnar as well. Then things take kind of a downturn, and unfortunately it comes at the expense of Chad Gable. Chad Gable has been building up a lot of great momentum as of late. His performance in the King of the Ring was fantastic. His rematch with Baron Corbin just last night was fantastic. Why he's on SmackDown Live tonight? The world may never know why they didn't give this kid a break. He didn't need to be here doing two absolutely unnecessary things. The one thing he did that I didn't mind at all was come out and address the situation that happened with Baron Corbin. He said to the crowd he had Baron Corbin beat last night, and if he did not get himself disqualified, the story would be completely different, and he would have beaten Baron Corbin, which may be the case. And then before he gets to really get into that and re-challenge Baron Corbin for a rematch or anything like that, Mike Cuck Nellis, this is the greatest shithead of them all. Get this guy off my television. I don't give a shit about anything he has to say or do anymore. This whole thing is ridiculous. And he comes out there to put out some short jokes. He has to be added to the list of people who get to take knocks at Chad Gable for being just a little bit over 5 feet tall. More juvenile, stupid humor. I understand that they're going somewhere with it, and obviously Chad Gable is going to take the stance of I'm going to overcome all of these bullying insults and all of this bullshit, but I still think it's a little bit too much and that it's just stupid. It's stupid. It makes all of these grown-ass men look like 5-year-old boys in the schoolyard, and that's not pro wrestling. That's fucking ridiculous. I can go down and watch my kid at recess in the schoolyard playing with all her friends. I can see just as much trash talk as you see, and the same style of trash talk that you see, and she's only 7 years old. It gets even worse. Well, Chad Gable did thankfully defeat the Cuck Master in less than 2 minutes because it wasn't even worth that much time. On his way out, he was interrupted by another gigantic waste of our time, Elias. Elias, who wanted to grace us with a song full of childish, juvenile short jokes. Is this going to be the recurring thing? Because it needs to go away quickly. Somebody should be talking to this kid with at least a little bit of respect on his name, considering what he can do in the ring. It's just the mocking and the teasing over his height when he's beating ass every time he gets in the ring right now. It's fucking stupid. And it makes these guys not only look juvenile, it makes them look like imbeciles. I don't know, if I'm sitting back there and Vince gives me this and he's like, I want you to say all this stuff and call him short and say he came up just a little bit too short and blah, 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 short and blah, 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 short. I'll be like, it's a little, I don't know, boss, that's a little much. Can't I just say the first line and that's it? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't say these type of things. I feel like I would find a better way to direct our attention and a better way to build heat for this feud than to just call this guy short all the time. It's just passed from one jerk off to the other. Baron Corbin did it. Everybody that faced him in the King of the Ring did it. Shelton Benjamin did it. Come on, man. Gotta be better than that. This is what Fox Network's gonna get. They're alright with this? I'm not alright with it. Just like I'm not alright with anything that has to do with the 24/7, hey, look at me, I'm a clown avocado, covered gold-plated 24/7, 7-Eleven, I don't even know the name of the championship because I'm R-Truth title. Carmella's in the back. R-Truth's playing bodyguard. Charlotte Flair comes because they're going to be in a team tonight for absolutely no reason. See, everything that happened tonight on SmackDown Live seemed like a bunch of random, just thrown together matches. This was the most random card ever. It made absolutely no sense. Sure, we're following up from last week when Carmella came out unexpectedly, and which made just as much sense as this, which was absolutely zero, to bail out Charlie, no pun intended, from Bayley and Sasha Banks' attack last week. This segment should not have been a tag team match. I don't know why we had to see Sasha Banks. I thought Bayley should have been out there on her show that she is the champion of, having the focus being put on her, not on her partner, who, although she is a bigger star, she's not part of this roster. She's not on this show, and the spotlight should be on me. And Carmella is her former best friend. She should be the one and the only one in this matchup trying to get a measure of revenge, trying to find out what's going on with Bayley. Now they're having this matchup, Bayley versus Carmella, former friends battling it out because of Bayley's change in attitude, which is barely a change at best. But instead we get this tag team matchup. The Boston Connection going up against Charlotte Flair and Carmella. A babyface heel mixed up tag team that makes no sense. This little interaction between them before the matchup made them seem like they had no chemistry and no interest in being involved with one another at all. So it just made absolutely no sense. And the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley and Sasha Banks, defeat Charlotte Flair and Carmella. The 24/7 avocado bullshit, hey, look at me, I'm a dumbass rules were suspended during this match, and of course, as soon as the match came to a close, all of the women, and I mean all of the women, including women that would and should have absolutely no interest in being a 24/7 champion, women like Asuka, women like Kairi Sane, running through the crowd like a bunch of clowns in a whole entire line of goofball idiots in search of a championship that means jack shit. And now we get to see the women traipsing around like all the dumbass idiots. Why not just put them in a bunch of clown suits and call it what it is, just a big old circus for everybody to laugh at? And I'm not watching WWE or any professional wrestling show to watch a sideshow circus of clowns. A cavalcade of morons traipsing about for an avocado-skinned championship. Get out of here with that. After this, Shane McMahon was in the back talking to his legal team, and now I'm already looking for my towel because I feel the moisture just seeping through my television set. I see it just trickling off him, and you could see it. It glistens off of him. It makes him look almost angelic if you didn't know that it was just an overabundance of sweat. And you would think a guy that lets out that much disgusting evil wouldn't be such a stale prick on the inside as far as his character is concerned. Shane McMahon as a character has a terrible delivery. He is a terrible actor, and he can't get his lines out, and his delivery is just stale and boring. It's like he doesn't even care himself about what he's doing, so why should we care? He's in the back with a bunch of legal monkeys talking about the whole Kevin Owens lawsuit situation, which will come to a head later on, and though it does have some positive to it, it was just dreadful to get through. The Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, with Sami the Annoying Zayn, defeated Ali tonight. Now, I bet you're expecting me to come down pretty hard on this matchup, and I'm not going to so much. I'm going to take all of the wins from this that I can. We had Ali in a high-profile match where he came out looking fantastic. He looked great against Shinsuke Nakamura. He hung in there all the way to the end. We have the Intercontinental Champion defending his championship, I believe, and successfully doing so. He did use his manager to the best of his ability, which leaves the door open for a rematch clause with Ali. He will be pursuing another shot claiming that Sami Zayn is the only reason that he lost the championship in the first place, and he does have a leg to stand on, so we can go forward with this, which is why I'm not going to shit all over it. If we are nothing, we are honest, and while it's not great to see Ali getting a loss, the way that they wrote it, the way that they planned it and went about it, it definitely leaves room for more to be explored down the line, and I will not shit on seeing Nakamura versus Ali again. And I think it might just be leading to something bigger down the line. That's me being hopeful. That's me being positive. So take it when it's here, because you're not going to see it very often. And while Sami Zayn continues to be one of the more annoying figures on WWE television, it definitely is a great fit. I loved when he was all hyped up and getting all out of control, and this was last night on Raw though, but I loved that segment where he was getting all out of whack, and Shinsuke was like, Sammy, just calm down, bro, and he had to take it down a notch because he's subservient to the champion right now, and it may lead to something great between these two as well. At some point their heads are going to clash, and then maybe we can have a return to their fantastic feud from NXT a few years back, which has never been seen on the main roster, and nothing like it will ever be seen unless they do it, which will be great. And these are all positive things that can come out of this one little segment on the night. It didn't get as much time as some of the other matches, but it was good enough. They then recapped the Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens $25 million wrongful termination lawsuit, and then we had the New Day come out and defeat the B Team. What did I tell you guys? Absolutely random. Just random. It's like they put everybody's name in a hat because they just really didn't care. It's the last time we're going to be on USA. Let's phone it in. Who gives a shit, right? Dude, let's just phone it in this week. Everybody put your names in a hat. Pick, and here's our card. Ridiculous. The New Day versus the B Team. For what? For what? And you would think in this scenario, this would be a great time for you to have the B Team pull off an upset win. You're about to go into a new channel, into a new season, a new show, a new everything, so why not do something that'll make people go, oh snap, everything's not the same all the time. These two B-Team idiots who are actually D-Team rejects just beat the New Day. What's going on over there? Maybe things are changing up in the tag team division, but no. No, this whole segment was only put here so that the New Day can embarrass the B-Team just so that they can go out and dance with some 49ers jerk-off. And I don't care what his name is, so don't go in the... And I'm sorry if you're from San Francisco or from wherever the hell he plays. I really don't care. I don't know who he is. I don't care who he is. And he doesn't need to be gyrating his hips in the front row on Monday Night Raw with the New Day. I'm sorry, SmackDown Live. Or Monday Night Raw either. That's how bad this segment was. I thought I was watching Raw. I completely forgot. So stupid. We had in the back Mandy Rose handing out her copies of Maxim Australia. Why she's not on just the regular Maxim, I don't know. Do you know who's on the cover of the regular Maxim this month? I believe it's Taylor Swift. Why would you put Taylor Swift on the cover in the United States, but not Mandy Rose? Do the people of the United States not watch the WWE? I'm sorry. Ridiculous. You gotta go all the way to Australia to get this magazine? No wonder I couldn't find it anyway. The Kabuki Warriors showed up. They decided to not give a shit about the 24/7 championship anymore because they realized it's a hunk of junk and they didn't want it anyway. And they had a matchup with Fire and Desire. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville's tag team. Look at this. 2 actual women's tag teams with tag team names. But do you know what the problem is? Their entrance songs. How awful is it? And it's so funny how I bring things up and then they start to just do it almost more and more. Or maybe I just start to notice it more and more and I never really noticed it before. But Fire and Desire is a very strange mix of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville's themes which do not go together whatsoever. And the very same can be said for Asuka and Kairi's mishmash of theme songs. It's awful. Why not just write a piece of music? Why do you have a music department if you're just going to remix everything? What, did you hire a guy that only knows how to do mashups and can't produce an original piece of fucking music? Come on, man. And I was shocked. Shocked, because my instinct thought the WWE was going to WWE all over this match and shit on the Kabuki Warriors, but that was not the case. The Kabuki Warriors got a victory over Fire and Desire, which is fine. They should be winning. They should be beating these girls. There's nothing to complain about here. Imagine that. Except for the fact that the championships are on a team that suck. So maybe this is their way of starting to build up the Kabuki Warriors, which is an awful name for these girls, as a team anyway, but I'll take it, and build them towards a shot at Alexa and Nikki Cross, and hopefully get the belts off of them and put them on some girls that are an actual team, that are actually friends, and that can really, really out-wrestle a majority of the girls on the roster and put a little bit of prestige on those women's championships once and for all. I wouldn't be opposed to that. After this, Shane McMahon and his legal team, his dumbass clown car of lawyers, came down with him to the ring. He called out Kevin Owens. Even though he's fired, Kevin Owens was in the audience. He was in the arena, and he was invited by Shane McMahon to come to the ring, and they started talking about how he can make things right by accepting one of two choices. The first choice is to stay fired. The second choice is to whatever the fuck Shane McMahon says, and I was definitely disinterested. I was just more watching along ringside to see when and where the towel guy was going to strike to mop up before somebody fell and kicked and not kicked their own ass, but busted their ass. I was going to say before somebody fell and kicked their ass. You can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, maybe you can. That's pretty special. You should go see what you could do with that. A lot more special than watching Shane McMahon. I'd rather watch you kick your own ass 100 times than watch Shane McMahon even 1 millisecond. But let's get on with this finale of a show, if you want to call it that. SmackDown Live ends on this note. We had some decent wrestling, but they end the show with Shane McMahon sweating all over the place, Kevin Owens coming out, trying to make his stand, issuing the challenge of all challenges. He challenges Shane McMahon to a ladder match where they are going to hang the contract high above the ring in the briefcase that Shane McMahon's lawyers can draw up themselves if they please. That states very simply that the winner of this matchup, the man that pulls that contract down, will stay in the WWE. If Kevin Owens pulls the contract down, he will not have to pay the fine. He will be reinstated, and Shane McMahon will be gone. If Shane McMahon pulls down that contract, then Kevin Owens stays fired and everything stays as it is. And the only thing good that could possibly come from this is that they finally smarten up and that they are going to get Shane McMahon off such a dominant on-camera role by having him lose this match and taking a much-needed vacation. Go sweat somewhere else. Leave us alone, damn it. But I have a strange feeling. Think about a ladder match, you guys. A ladder match is an open recipe for chaos. It's definitely a match that lends to people interfering. There is nothing in my bones that is not telling me that some slouch like Elias, maybe even possibly King Corbin, might be called in as to aid Shane McMahon. Maybe we will see the return of Drew McIntyre if he's ready to come back yet, and he's going to be there to help Shane McMahon climb up the ladder because he's going to be so sweaty he's just going to be sliding off that thing. He's going to need somebody to guide him up there and have him cheat to win, which will leave a loophole for Kevin Owens to try to find his way back in another way. But that would be the absolute worst case scenario. And we don't want to see that at all. What we want to see happen at Hell in a Cell in this ladder match is Kevin Owens go up and get this briefcase. I don't even want it to last 2 minutes. I don't want to see Shane McMahon do some death-defying stunt off some ladder 10 times the size of a normal ladder. I don't want to see him doing anything crazy off of the Titantron. I want to see him go in there. I want to see him slip in a puddle of his own sweat. And I want to see Kevin Owens fly to the top of the ladder, grab the briefcase, and save us and save us from this, and I could put my yellow Shane McMahon protect me from the sweat slicker back on the coat rack for rainy days and not for when I'm watching SmackDown Live. After this, we were in the back with Kayla Braxton. Kayla Braxton interviewing Becky Lynch, who gets blindsided by Sasha Banks. She was attacked and thrown all over the back. These girls went at it for a little bit before Sasha Banks gained the advantage, had Becky Lynch face first up against a fence that just sort of was there in the back. Somehow there's just fences laying around in the back of the Chase Arena in San Francisco. They just got chain link fence just hanging around. You know, just go ahead. Yeah, no, we got you. You guys want to go play in the jungle gym? You want to protect? Yeah, go ahead. There's a chain link fence over there. Obviously, putting over their Hell in a Cell match coming up. Finally, the officials were trying to break it up, and SmackDown Live went off the air with Becky Lynch writhing in pain on the floor. And for the last time, SmackDown Live ruined our Tuesday nights, and now we are going to have to tune in on Friday, because next week at an all-new time, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is going to bring you Friday Night Suckdown, Suck Harder. Because I have a feeling nothing's going to change. It's going to suck just as bad as our beloved SmackDown Live. Adios, SmackDown Live. I will not miss having to put your name in all the hashtags. I will not miss having to put that extra little live in everything, as we could just go back to calling it SmackDown. And occasionally Friday Night SmackDown when we want to be fancy about it. Other than that, next week, Friday Night SmackDown debuts on Fox, October the 4th, the 20th anniversary celebration, which is kind of cool how it coincides that way. It's going to feature the championship matchup between the champion, Kofi Kingston, who may just as well be taking that ring for the last time as champion, going up against Brock Lesnar. Plus, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair will take on Bayley and Sasha Banks again, which is why I tell you we are going to be calling it Suckdown, Suck Harder. Because it's not going to change a goddamn thing. Everybody freaking out about how SmackDown looked tonight. Oh, it looks more crisp. Oh, did you see the detail in the color? It must be a 4K this and that and who's he what's and doesn't matter if it was an actual 3D, if it was a diorama box that I could put my hands into and actually touch and feel superstars. It doesn't matter if I was there live in the arena. It doesn't matter how real it could look on screen. They could add graphics and little 3D doodads and who-dads all over the place. It's still going to suck if the show becomes secondary. You could upgrade your equipment and make everything look all fancy. It's only going to allow us to see how bad it is in crystal clarity. So everybody, knock it off. Oh, look how crisp the logos. Get the hell out of here. That is tonight's episode of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's review of SmackDown Live. I'm not going to miss it. We are looking forward to next week. I'm not looking forward to the new schedule. I don't like that it's moved to Friday night. I think Friday night was a great spot for previews and things like that, but everything's being thrown around. It's an interesting time to be a wrestling fan. You got Impact Wrestling taking the Tuesday night spot. You got Wednesday, the two best leagues in all of the world, AEW and NXT, going head-to-head. Thursday night is wide open as of right now. Friday nights, we got SmackDown. Saturdays, we are going to have takeovers and things like that. Sunday's going to be the occasional pay-per-view here and there, making everything even crazier. And then, of course, Monday nights are going to blow chunks with Monday Night Raw. But it's going to be nuts, man. And I hope you guys stick that out with me and stay right here and come with us for this ride, because it's going to be crazy. And we have a special episode coming out this weekend where we are going to talk about the Wednesday Night War like nobody else. And you know we bring the hammer down just for you guys. And in order to make sure that you do not miss any of that, make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that notification bell so that every time we drop an awesome video just like this one, you will know immediately and can join in on the fun with the rest of the Sledgeheads all over the world as Sledge Nation continues to rise to the top and we take over YouTube one sub at a time, and it starts with an awesome person just like you. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below. What did you guys think of the final episode of SmackDown Live? What do you think is going to be happening for us on the first episode of Friday Night SmackDown? I want to know what you guys have to think as always, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Don't forget to share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they were mildly disappointed with tonight's random collection of matches put forth as an episode of SmackDown Live. And that, I guess, is going to do it. Did I miss anything? I don't know. Hopefully not. And if I did, you can let me know as well. Smash that thumbs up, and let's wrap this up. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you for NXT tomorrow night right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. I said tomorrow night, but I meant Thursday, because you guys got to get used to it. NXT AEW going to be Thursday on this channel, and I'm sorry I made that mistake, but just to clear the air, just like they failed to do on tonight's SmackDown Live. Oh, that was nice. I hope you guys stuck around for that. That was a nice way to end the show. That's it. Have a good one, you guys, and we'll see you next time.